Hey, what's up everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I figured I'd turn on the camera this morning, talk a little Lakers, because obviously we played our first game last night against the Golden State Warriors. Got our tails kicked pretty good. And, it's a few things to take from the game that I guess wasn't said in the video that I made post-game. And I think one of the things that we just want to put a little more emphasis on is just how good Russ looked. How good Russell Westbrook looked, because it needs to be said, and all of the things that we've been trying to do, making him look good is the one thing that I think we failed to do in the last year or so. I think that's very obvious to everybody that both Russell Westbrook and the Lakers have failed to make Russell Westbrook look like a very good basketball player in purple and gold. And even in the preseason, we saw a lot of what was wrong there. Even tried to use him on the bench, got blown out by 47, so nothing's working. And even though we lost yesterday's game by double digits, we were down by 27 at one point. I think a lot of what we could take away from the game, from a positive standpoint, was the 60 points that we scored in the paint. And I believe that is directly related to his aggression, driving at the rim, and everybody else also making an emphasis to score in the paint. I like that Darvin Ham is trying to get our centers the ball, trying to get interior passing plays going, way more than I've ever seen, to be honest, ever since Shaq anyway. So I like that we're trying to put an emphasis in the paint. I think we can continue to attack teams there, and most teams are not going to have Wiseman and Looney and Draymond type of defenders, that type of talent defensively in place. I think Golden State is one of the better front court defensive teams in the NBA. So I think if we could score 60 points in their paint, you figure we could just kind of manage our 3-point percentages a little better by shooting less. We upped that interior scoring to 70 and 75 and cut back on those threes, and we got a close game. I know it's not pretty. You want to be able to keep the perimeter as a threat, but what you don't want to do is recognize that you're shooting threes and it's not a threat, that they're still leaving you back there to shoot. They're still not accounting for the space. So we gotta be able to identify when shooting the three no longer is applicable for what it is that we need to do within the game. In-game adjustments from the 3-point perspective, because what we did was got away from what worked and continued to try what didn't work. And I don't know that overall the strategy of doing that wasn't just simply the worst way to go. And obviously when you say it like that, it speaks to it being redundant, but not necessarily when you're considering the context of basketball. Because you do want to be a threat from behind the arc. You do want to toss a lot of volume shots from certain angles so that you can open up the paint for yourself and constantly leave yourself an opportunity to have a lot of space. So if you're only shooting twos, suddenly those twos become more difficult to shoot. It's because we shot the threes that left us in a position to have so much success in the paint. So I understand that you have to take the three, but there is a threshold level. Just like we say about everything else, there's a balance level, and once you cross that balance level, you've done too much or too little. And in this case, I think we need to figure out what that is. If we're trying to shoot threes, and by the end of the game, we're pleased because we've improved our shooting percentage to 26 or 27%, then that tells us we're shooting too many threes. If we're trying to improve to 27%, clearly something went terribly wrong. So that is what I see there. I see extreme amounts of success in the paint and extreme amounts of failure from behind the arc, with an intent on improving the arc from behind it throughout the game. So we got better, but it's because we started off so poorly. So I would rather us just simply pass up a lot of those 3-point shots, particularly the ones that LeBron James was taking. I think those plays can be passed around and turned into more 2-point opportunities that can still get us threes. I don't like Bron shooting threes because he is not a very good 3-point shooter. He's streaky. When you think of guys who are streaky, a guy who can hit 7 in a row and a guy who can miss 7 the next game, he's that. And he needs to play himself that way, I guess is what I would say. You got to try to strategize your game plan around the percentages that just are not beneficial to the team. I love LeBron James, but he turns the ball over too much to shoot the percentage so poor to have a guy like Westbrook next to him doing the same thing. That's what it really comes down to. If Westbrook ain't there, he can do things his way, and it won't take away as much from us because you don't have that piece doing the exact same damn thing. When he's doing that, Westbrook's doing that, and then last year we had THT also doing that. It's impossible. You can't win. He needs to understand where other guys are taking care of that for him. You see what I mean? It's like what he's trying to accomplish in certain things, they got that. They're shooting the threes that he otherwise feels he needs to take, I think. I don't know the game like Bron. Obviously, I would never assume to. Maybe it's about him having that attention focused on him in terms of three-point defense as opposed to it being focused on other teammates. But nevertheless, I just don't think we're getting quality possessions when you couple his brick threes and turnovers. It's just not. No, he needs to strategize differently for what it is that we got going on. So that's what I want to see. I understand that Bron's basketball IQ is above all things that I could ever imagine, but there are certain things down there that I even think he could simplify for himself in regards to how he strategizes. And I do believe that simply will lead to him having more success with his team, because it's all about him at the end of the day. How he manages certain things, how he leads the troop, what shots he's willing to take, what shots he wants the coaches to set up for other guys. It all boils down to what he's going to be okay with, because at the end of the day, it's all about him winning a championship in his timeline. So if he's not cool with something, I'd imagine guys are going to adjust it one way or another. And so that's what I want to see him do. Just continue to try to tweak his game-to-game strategy as it pertains to how he plays the perimeter offensively. If the shot ain't falling, everybody else is bricking, I need him to look for more ball movement, player movement plays from his team. Get a guy cutting or something instead of launching a three-point shot at random. That's what I would prefer as a Laker fan. In certain instances. Other instances, it makes sense for him to jack up a three real quick. Hey, whatever. But I think he does it a little too much. That's all I'm saying. I think we as a team do it a little too much. I want us to have better shot selection overall. And I think another reason why LeBron wants to strategize differently is because guys need to know what a good shot looks like. And if he's taking bad ones, there's a good chance they're just going to follow his lead. You know what I mean? I think that's what super duper stars have to remember. In the midst of all the things that you're trying to focus on to make it so that the defense is honest against you, you got to make sure that you're also understanding the balance between the example that you must set for other guys who are watching what it is that you do and trying to figure out how to play the game. You know what I mean? You may be taking three-corner threes just to make the defense do a certain thing. A guy like Walker's looking at you saying, that's what I need to be doing. I'm going to take three-corner threes too. Like, nah, you don't. You need to make sure that you communicate what it is that you're trying to see happen, I guess. Not to say that he's not, but I think it's an important aspect of what it is that you're doing when you're at the level that Bron is. You got to almost illustrate to guys what it is that you're seeing when you do certain things that are a little left field, I think, particularly with young teams. Older guys, if you're on a team like Golden State, Draymond gonna get it. Clay gonna get it. But young fellas like Cole Swider and Christie, they're not gonna know what Bron's looking at when he does certain things. But they may follow his lead when he does certain things, and it's probably not the right way to go. So coaches will help with that. Bron will help with that if necessary. So those are just little hypothetical things that I think could come into play when you have this type of dynamic. I don't necessarily think I see anything that really shows us too much in that regard this soon. But I just kind of know how it goes. So Anthony Davis, I just want to continue to see him work his way into the equation. The frustration level, I think, is carryover, I guess. It has nothing to do with what we've seen this season too much at all. He's been good in the preseason. His numbers were there yesterday. I just want him to rebound more than 6. That's all. You know, when you play in the center position for as many minutes as he is, that needs to be a emphasis level for him. I think we've talked about this since he got here. You know, I just don't think he's a Hall of Fame level rebounder, not by any stretch of the imagination. I think that's his weakest attribute at the moment. I really do. I think he should be a much better rebounder, and I'm encouraging the coaches to work with him and help him continue to evolve in that way, because I think if he becomes an even better rebounder, it will contribute to us having much more success and much more quality possessions. we have way too many situations where there's tip balls and things of that nature where the other team just comes down with the board when he's in the fray. I want him to continue to evolve in that way. Work on that, man. Don't be satisfied with that. You can get better there. And so that's the things that I'm looking at from our stars. Like I said, Russell Westbrook played the best game he's played in a very long time. I don't think there was a whole lot not to like about his second half. The first half, he did some of the things that we used to him doing, stepping out of bounds, bricking shots, looking like the old Russell from last year. But I think in the second half, he started settling in. He started driving at the rim, connecting on plays, and just put his head down and started trying to get to the rim. Even when he was bricking a layup in that situation, I liked the take. And I just said, you know what, just keep doing that, man. Keep doing that. And I think that works. The thing that I really think that the coaches are going to have to help him with and be extremely patient with him about is just spacing and passing, rhythm, timing, understanding your teammates and when they want the ball. He gets the ball to him too soon. Second and a half too soon, second and a half too late, dribbling a little too close to them to be passing to them. You know what I mean? Because he's moving at his own speed and his own rhythm. But it's so very important that rhythm be aligned with other people's, and it literally never is. So that's where Russell Westbrook must evolve. His timing has got to get better. You know, you being on your own frequency when you're on a team is bad because the rest of the team is off pace because you are on your own pace. So if you're not aligning with their speed and their rhythm and their spacing, then you're just a problem. I don't care how much what you can do can help if it were alone. It's not alone. It needs to be aligned with 4 other people. And that's ultimately where Russell Westbrook really, really falls short. His way of gauging those things just seems to be well below average. And it hurts. It hurts the team a lot. So I want him to be patient with himself in regards to that because it is something that is hindering what people see in him, you know, in terms of the eyesight on the floor. You know, that type of stuff just looks bad. And it just messes up plays a lot of times. It takes away from the good that he does. So that's where he needs to focus, is making sure that his timing is exactly what everybody else. And if that's something that he can't get better at, then we're going to have to adjust away from him and put him in positions to where it doesn't matter as much that he do that. But as long as you have him in them rhythm plays and stuff like that, he's a deterrent to that rhythm. So that's something that I understand very, very clearly. I saw rear its ugly head in the first half yesterday, and it just throws people off. They got to adjust to his errant passes. Sometimes it turns into turnovers. Guys end up forcing up bad shots because they have to catch those errant passes. They have to shoot from weird angles because of the adjustment made. It's just, he makes life hard on his teammates. Very hard on his teammates. And so that's where what I see. It's been like that the whole time, and now I want to see us help him get better at that. Period. And so that's what it is, man. Disarm any way of him ignoring that fact. Your timing has to get better, brother. Do not run away from that, please. As a Laker fan, it's important that he get better at that. I don't care if he misses shots as much as he does. But the rhythm stuff, he throws everybody else off. Period. All right, enough of that. Austin Reeves, I want to see him get some playmaking opportunities. We said that last night. We got to see Darvin Ham learn Austin Reeves' game. I think that is really what it comes down to. I think he may think he has one type of player, and he's going to find out it's a different kind of piece. And once he realizes what that piece is, boom, then he's going to really utilize it properly. But as long as he's just throwing him at the shooting guard position and kind of asking him to be a traditional shooting guard as if he's an extension of Walker and Nunn, you're not going to get the right stuff out of Austin. Austin is totally different. He's more like Lonzo than anything else in that way. So, yeah, that's what I want to say. Point guard. And I heard a friend of mine, one of our Laker friends, on Facebook said something that made a lot of sense. She said you need to bench Russell and bench Pat and start Austin. I know people aren't going to like that in some cases because obviously bigger names you can trust more. But I think what it really comes down to for me, size. Above everything else, our guard position, starting with those two, makes us too short. It's the same issue New York would have had if they got Donovan Mitchell along with Brunson. You're just too tiny out there. I don't care how good they can be skills-wise. They're going against people twice their height. So that's where I think we hurt ourselves. And you put Walker in that situation as well. That's three small guards, Anthony Davis and Bron James. You got the exact same dynamic you had last year, just older, younger players, just more young players. That's just the same dynamic, small ball. For this core, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So that's what we want to say there. 37 is a weapon. That's one of my favorite phrases. We're talking about Matt Ryan. I just want to see us continue to use him. Hell, I wouldn't be mad at us throwing him into some first quarter minutes as well. If you don't want to start him, let him come off the first. Let him be the first player off the bench type of thing. Because I think at the end of the day, if you guys want to shoot as many threes as you do, it should be Matt Ryan shooting them. Simple and plain. He's the only pure shooter we have on the squad. Bron don't need to take 5 threes. I don't need Pat Bev taking 5 threes. I don't need Kendrick Nunn taking 5 threes. None of that. No. Matt Ryan's the shooter. He should be the one taking 5 threes. So if we want to shoot the three, let's make sure shooters are shooting it. Cole Swider hasn't been hitting it, so I'm not going to be screaming for him to hit it. But as the season progresses, when he finds his confidence, yeah, Cole Swider, NJ, and 37 are the only ones who need to be shooting the ball like that. Everybody else, I don't need no more than 3 from you. Just 3 or less. Preferably less. Especially if everybody's going to shoot 3. That's not good. We need to be shooting less than probably 23s a game. I hate to be the guy that says that, but it's the truth. We suck shooting 3. Why are we shooting so many of them? I'll be happy if we shoot 18 3-point shots a game. I'll cap us off at 18. 18 3-point shots a game. If we're not hitting half of those, why are we shooting them? Why are we shooting them? It don't take more than 19 to create the space necessary for the defense to keep you honest. If you're shooting more than that and you're not hitting them, you're shooting too many. Let that be the threshold, in my opinion. So that's something that we could talk about there. What else? Like what I saw from Walker, we just want to see him shore up his shot selection and some of the mistakes out there. We don't need, and I love to say this, bumbling, fumbling plays. We got one Westbrook. We don't need no more. He gonna step out of bounds enough for everybody. He gonna throw the ball off the top of the backboard enough for everybody. I don't need that from Walker. I don't need that from Nunn. I don't need that from none of y'all. That's what it really come down to. I think that level of mistake making, it's not gonna be a whole lot of patience for that because of Russ. We went through a whole year of that with him. So head scratching plays are not just gonna be head scratching plays for Laker fans. They're going to be real irritants, triggers for us. So we need to take care of the basketball and cut down on the unforced, incompetent level turnovers. They're going to drive us crazy. You're going to get more booze than you're used to getting. We ain't got no patience for it. I'm just being honest. We don't. So that's what I got to say, man. I don't want us to hastily rush and make a trade that doesn't make us as good as we want to be just because we know we're not good enough. We're seeing what we expected to see. We're a bad 3-point shooting team with some pieces that are missing, and because of it, we're not expected to win too many games to start the season. I'm sorry, it's the truth. We just need to work off progressions and get better at what we need to get better at and continue to treat these first couple of games like the preseason and figure out the things that we should have been learning in the preseason when guys were missing. So that's how we have to play it. We know we ain't favored to beat the Clippers tomorrow. They're a better team than us. Ain't nobody going to make a lie about that. But what I do want to see is us continue to show the heart that we showed yesterday. Put the effort in to cut down on some of those mistakes. And ultimately try to continue to work on the things that we've talked about. Shooting the ball better or less, whichever makes the most sense in that situation. And continuing to attack in the paint. I don't think that was a one-game thing. I think we can do that every night. I think we can make teams feel us no matter what. And if we're going to have Russell Westbrook on the floor, I don't want him shooting jumpers. I want him driving at the rim the way he was yesterday. And if the layups falls, cool. If he doesn't get the call, cool. But that's all I really want him to do. Drive, kick, drive, shoot free throws. That's it. If he's shooting threes, it's a problem. If he's shooting jumpers, it's a problem. If he can hit his little mid-range jumper from the corner, the bank shot, I don't think he's gotten that shot enough as a Laker. I've seen him hit that shot 170 times as the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I just don't think we've given him that shot enough. But when we have given him that shot, he hasn't hit it. So what can we do? The things that he's most comfortable in, we haven't found a way to get him an opportunity to do those things. I want Darvin Ham, if he has a little extra time, if he hasn't already done this a million times, which he probably has as a coach of this team, but go back and look at Russell Westbrook's old highlights from OKC where he was hitting mid-range jumpers, corner mid-range jumpers, bank shots. That's really like a layup for him. And he's gotten so far away from that over the last couple years to now he doesn't hit it comfortably no more. It's almost just as bad as everything else he's doing. Nah, that's a shot that he took and made no matter what. And so I said that when he first got here, and I'll say it again. That should be an order of emphasis for him in practice to get that muscle memory back for that mid-range bank shot that he's hit his whole career. It looks terrible when he shoots it for us, and I think that that's just some bull crap. That's not Russell Westbrook. All the other stuff I can get with, but him missing that shot, I've seen him hit it too many times with my own eyes, for me to see him hit it, to brick it as bad as he's bricking it. Nah, hell nah. You got to find yourself back in that way, Russell. You got to find yourself back in that way. If you can't hit that shot, your career will not extend, sir. Straight up, you got to find that shot again. So that's important, man. Half the league don't take mid-range shots, and he used to be a mid-range specialist from that spot. Where is that? Find it again. So that's what I want to say, man. That's one of the things where it's like, bro, I don't know how you lost that. I can see how you lost everything else, but not that shot that he hit a million times in his career. But anyway, so that's where my head is, man. I'm looking at my Lakers, and I'm just seeing a lot of holes. I'm also seeing room for improvement when guys come back. We'll get a lot of size when TB gets back. We'll have even more size when Troy Brown gets in here. And, so we just got to wait this out. These little knick-knack injuries seem to be something that follows our team no matter what year it is. We've been dealing with this even past Shaq and Kobe. We always had injuries. So it's just something that comes with purple and gold. We always keep our eyes open for health and safety protocol. We know that Keegan Murray in Sacramento got hit with that, so we know it can come our way too. We got to be ready. It's not gone. As if we didn't have enough problems. That's still looming. So, yeah, man. We're just praying that we can hold out, man. We're praying that we can continue to allow Russell Westbrook to get the 31 minutes that he got. Dennis Schroeder went down. It was a plus for our team overall since we need those minutes for Russell to look good. Got those minutes. He looked good. 4 turnovers, who cares? As long as he's getting those 11 rebounds, double-digit points, that's what we need to have him look like in our uniform every time until he's traded. As long as we can get that type of production, we'll be able to trade him. So that's what it's about, man. Keep him healthy. That's it. And, for all the good stuff that Bron did statistically, I think he knows he didn't have a very good game for his standards. Stats didn't tell the story. A lot of what went wrong was his fault, and I'm pretty sure he'll do better. Simple and plain. Bron didn't have a good game. I don't care what 34 points, 14 rebounds, the stats weren't the story. It was the missed shots, the turnovers, and ultimately just not enough good from Bron. Period. So I don't judge him by stats. I judge him by impact. I judge him by how guys are playing around him. And guys didn't play better today or last night when he was down there. So they got to get better at running plays. That's what I'm saying. Them 5 3-point shots that he bricked, those are plays that he could be running to make other guys better. That is way more fruitful at this stage in the career, in the season, than managing that particular basketball game. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to teach. That's the higher priority, is teaching these youngsters than just getting them threes off and resting them legs. Nah, hell no. They need to be making plays. Them dudes need to be running around doing something that you want them to learn. And so when we shoot them 3-point shots, just, at random early in the shot clock, just because, that's one more play that Walker didn't run, that Pippen didn't run, or whoever else is on their floor. Let's let them get better. That's what I want to say. Let's let them get better. That's going to help us overall. So that's what I got to say, man. That's pretty much it. This is the Kobe Minute, of course, so we know we show love. And that's where we're at. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.